All right, Pisces, so some of you are needing to change the way that you communicate, not just to others, but the way that you are talking to yourself right now. So from the Halloween Oracle, Mummy, change. And then from Hidden Realms, the word Lord, communication, praise, and dishonesty. And this did show up as a challenge for you. Now, Mummy, this is saying that change is inevitable and that no matter how hard you try, things will not be preserved exactly the same way. But it is saying that this change will be for the better. It says that this is just a healthy pause and an indication that a change of tactics is needed. You are not cursed. You have just developed a pattern and you can take control and change it. So a pattern in the way that you communicate that needs to be changed. Now, with the word Lord as a challenge, one of the things that it talks about is if others are being unsupportive toward you, it's them, not you. It says, don't take this world personally. Remember that you don't have to engage others when they project their own fears and negativity onto you. And then the other thing it talks about is the way that you're communicating to yourself. If you're putting yourself down and talking shit to yourself right now, that needs to change. Absolutely. All right, Pisces. Here's your overall. The Ace of Swords. So yeah, the truth, right? Needing the truth, especially if you're dealing with dishonesty. But new fresh ideas, the epiphany, the aha moment, the breakthrough here with the Ace of Swords, facing the truth of a situation, right? So everything that is surrounding this is going to be based on a truth that is out, right? But it's always a good thing here when we have absolute clarity on what is happening. Now, in the past, the Six of Swords. So if we're talking about a truth coming out, you know, it may have been difficult, but it's going to help you move on. Move on to, you know, something that's going to be better for you. You know, the Six of Swords, moving on from conflict, difficulty, you know, getting away from that Five of Swords, so to speak. You know, but for you, it's like, yes, now I understand. Now I know that I need to do this. Right? But what the hell, Pisces? So, the Eight of Swords. Now, this may be something that you thought that you have moved on from. But there may be some more, like, details, so to speak, coming out. But now it's like, oh man, I'm stuck. Like you're in the middle of the water going, I don't know where I'm supposed to go or what to do, you know. Like, what the hell? You know, this should be reversed here. I mean, you know, we should be looking at the Six of Swords in the present moment where you're no longer stuck and you're moving on, but you move on to a place where you continue to be stuck, right? But this is all mental. It's all what is in your mind, right? Wow, the hell? Oh boy. All right. The Knight of Cups. So, I feel like what's happening here is that for some of you, you may have tried to move on from a situation, but you're stuck because there are emotions involved with the Knight of Cups being there, you know, and I feel like this is more so you. Like, you know, but I have to do what I feel like is right for me, but I don't know how to do that because I'm in a really difficult situation, need to move away from, you know, but eventually here you move into a place where, you know, you're going to have to face the truth here and start to follow your heart, right? And it may be that some of you are like not wanting to be led on, which I've been getting a lot with the Knight of Cups, you know. But there is truth in these emotions, or there is truth in what is being offered to you. But for some reason, it's like, you know, I've moved on from this, but now I'm stuck because there is, you know, involvement here, right? But, you know, clarity is definitely needed with that Ace of Swords. But, you know, is the breakthrough coming because there's an acknowledgement that, you know, something is going on with you emotionally that you feel like you need to follow? You know, even though that this may be something that you tried to move on from before. Wowza. Oh, buddy. All right. The Chariot. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to move, right? But self-control. Willpower and self-control. You know, getting control over definitely some opposing forces here for sure, right? Between feeling stuck and wanting to move on, but then wanting to follow it. What do I do? Right? Like, it makes sense to me. But now, you know, with the Chariot, beyond that, though, it may be that you need to like physically actually travel or move, you know, when it comes to following where your heart is leading you, right? You know, but it's like a breakthrough for you, a breakthrough and an understanding. But right now you may not be seeing it because of the Eight of Swords. Okay, in your environment, the Ace of Pentacles. So, you know, there is an opportunity that's there for you, but you may be stuck in a situation that you have at least thought about trying to move on from, or have at one point. You know, but we're talking about a realistic, practical, you know, continued growth type of opportunity. That's one of the things that I point out with the Ace of Pentacles all the time, is we're talking about something that is going to be sustainable for you. It's not something that's going to drain out. It's not something that's going to burn out, right? I mean, you've got two of the best aces here, absolute mental clarity and practicality, you know, but it's about where your heart is leading you, though, is what I feel like, you know. But for some reason, there is something that is keeping you stuck, or keeping the situation stuck. You know, somebody may need to move on from some difficult things, and that may be keeping you in a place of like not being able to move forward. You could if you wanted to, but, you know, don't want to really do that if there's still going to be conflict involved, right? Your hopes and your fears, the Six of Wands. You know, if we're talking about travel and movement, the Six of Wands is different than the other cards here. The Six of Wands actually is the coming home card. So, you know, for some of you here, the hope would be that, you know, you're doing the right thing here by moving home, possibly because of a new opportunity. But beyond that, though, the Six of Wands, the hope there would be that, you know, you have that recognition coming through that, you know, you're doing the right thing here. It's almost like support, but the thing is that you're hoping that if you follow your heart, you know, people will recognize that you're doing what is right for you more than anything else. You know, it's funny how these cards have like a little bit of undertones here, you know, of other energies, but, you know, the hope there would be that, you know, you're recognized here, and that everything is successful, you know, that there is some level of victory. I mean, absolutely, between the two of these, right? And then coming out the King of Pentacles. Yeah, so for some of you, it is about, you know, having this like breakthrough here and how to move forward with an opportunity. You know, you may be stuck right now. There may be, you know, some things that you can't exactly move away from just yet, but you get there. You get there once you let, you know, that breakthrough kind of happen in terms of the way that you're feeling about an opportunity. With the King of Pentacles, successful, right? Now, this could definitely be about a person you're dealing with. Could be earth sign, male or female, don't care, right? But we're talking about somebody who is dependable, very successful, somebody who is willing to give of their time and their resources, right? But I think this is all about you and taking an opportunity that is going to lead you there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it's up to you, right? Like, you need to take control of where things are headed, especially with the Chariot being there. The Seven of Wands. With the Six of Swords being the past coming through, for some of you, you're in a position where you're constantly having to, you know, defend yourself, you know, defend your choices, right? Like needing to speak up here, use your voice. But that may become tiring. Like, I feel like with the Six of Swords, like, I'm tired of constantly doing this, right? I need to move on from this. This is like almost depleting. But, you know, it's not that easy to move on from. With the Eight of Swords, looking at the Nine of Swords, right? There may be a lot of fear, anxiety, and overthinking when it comes to an opportunity that's right there. I mean, it's right there, right? It's going to take some effort, though, on your part. Now, coming out of that, though, and, you know, and the thing is this is just what you're doing to you. It's overthinking things too much. There is a way through. You know, you may not be comfortable with just taking this opportunity without having to deal with something that you're already involved with that you need to move on from, right? But, you know, don't let your thoughts get ahead of you on this. Like, you know, I feel like some of you are neglecting, you know, the way that you feel right now and what you feel is right for you to do. But you get there, right? There's like that aha, right? And then you have the Wheel of Fortune, a change of circumstance here that leads you to success with the King of Pentacles, right? Or we're talking about, you know, a successful partnership. It could be romance with the Knight of Cups. It just depends. But it's up to you. You need to take control here. Big time, especially with the Chariot. on which way this wheel is turning for you. You can let shit happen to you and let it continue to happen to you, or you can become in control of your own destiny. But this is definitely something that you may feel like it's fated, right? But it's good. It's good circumstances coming all the way out, right? And it's like a breakthrough and understanding that this is where I need to be. This is what I need to do, right? And all that fear and anxiety just kind of, boom, falls away. But you need to be careful about how you are communicating to yourself, right? I think that those patterns need to change, especially with, the inner thoughts, so to speak. And then balance. The thing is, and here's the thing, you may be mentally blocking this out, and it's almost like, the source is trying to tell you, like, hey, open up, because I'm trying to give you information here that is going to be a breakthrough for you and lead you to where you want to be, right? But you are going to have to take the initiative here and take action. But once you do, it's going to lead you into a place where everything is balanced for you. There will be balance. Wow, Pisces. But it's like, it's funny because I see the humor in it, because, it really is, especially with the Ace of Swords being there, like spirit, God, your guides, angels, whatever, right? And it's like they're knocking on your head going, and then speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. And again, needing to change the way that you communicate, not just to yourself, but others, right? Don't push away the way you feel. Don't do that. That's not Pisces, But speak a little bit more loving, and again, not just to others, but to yourself. You have the ability to steer things in the right direction here. But you're going to have to make this happen. But I'm telling you, once you do, it's like all that fear and anxiety is going to fall away and everything will be balanced in your life.